I know, it's time to get to the no half-step in hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 702. That's right, operation number 702 for the Renegades of Puck. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division after 41 games played on the season. Their next game will be the middle point of the season. They have a record of 19, 16, and 6, 44 points, has them at 1 point behind 4th place St. Louis, 5 points behind 3rd place Minnesota, which would be an automatic playoff spot, which again we'll be talking about considerably more in the second half of the season. The Winnipeg Jets are in 2nd place with 55 points. The Dallas Stars are in 1st place with 57 points, and that is updated after tonight's results. So it reads Dallas in 1st place, Winnipeg in 2nd place, Minnesota in 3rd, the St. Louis Blues in 4th, then the Nashville Predators in 5th place. Going below the Nashville Predators, Colorado Avalanche, because of their loss to the Chicago Blackhawks, failed to gain ground on the Preds, remained 1 point behind the Nashville Predators. The Arizona Coyotes, then the Chicago Blackhawks make up the bottom of the division. The Nashville Predators' next game is on home ice. It's been some time since they've been at Bridgestone Arena. 9-6-3 is the home record on the season. They've scored 115 goals. They've given up 121 against. Their goal differential then is -6. Their next opponent is the Buffalo Sabres. First of 2 meetings in the regular season between the Nashville Predators and the Buffalo Sabres. The second will take place in Buffalo, and it won't happen until March the 21st of this season. For the Preds, they have a couple of games to go before we hit the All-Star break, and they have more home games coming up than you might expect. So let me go down the schedule real quick. After this game against the Buffalo Sabres on the 16th, which is Monday, that is going to be the Calgary Flames at Bridgestone Arena. Then the next night on Tuesday, the Columbus Blue Jackets will be at Bridgestone Arena. So another set of back-to-backs for the Nashville Predators this time, though, taking place on home ice. On the 19th of January, the Preds will be in St. Louis. 1-game road trip there, though, because they're back home on the 21st against LA and the 24th against Winnipeg, the 26th against New Jersey. And that closes out the schedule for the All-Star break. The Preds have a break from the 26th until February the 7th. And, of course, congratulations to UC Saros for being selected to the Western Conference All-Star team. Now, for the Buffalo Sabres, they hold a record of 20-18-2 on the season overall. That's good for 42 points and 5th place in the Atlantic Division. So 2 5th-place teams meeting up in this matchup. A surprisingly good road record, 11-7 on the season, a +15 goal differential. And let's take a look at their most recent stretch of 5 games. Back on January the 3rd, coming out of the New Year's break, 5-4 overtime win at the Washington Capitals. Followed that up on the 7th, a 6-5 overtime win versus the Minnesota Wild, a 4-0 loss versus Philadelphia on the 9th, and then on the 10th, a 4-3 loss versus Seattle. And then on the 12th, their most recent game was a 4-2 loss versus the Winnipeg Jets. So on a 3-game losing streak right now are the Buffalo Sabres, looking to come to Nashville and right the ship. Between these two teams, the matchups, the Buffalo Sabres are going to be favored in the majority of statistical metrics. So let's take a look at it. In goals for, you might be surprised if you haven't paid attention to what's going on in Buffalo. This is one high-scoring Buffalo Sabres team. They just haven't quite found the results overall in the standings yet, but there is no problem on the offensive side of things, generating 3.83 goals per game. That's best overall, number 1 in the NHL, while the Nashville Predators generating 2.76 goals per game is 27th in the NHL, near the bottom of the league. In goals against, the Nashville Predators are 14th, best in the NHL, 2.93 per game given up, while the Buffalo Sabres are 24th overall in the NHL. They're giving up 3.48 per game. Now, shots for, 32.3 on net for Buffalo is 12th best in the NHL, while the Nashville Predators generating 31 on net per game. That is 19th overall in the NHL. And shots against, Buffalo giving up 33 per game is 25th in the league, while the Nashville Predators are rated 29th in the league, giving up 34.2 shots against per game. In the special teams matchup, power play favors the Buffalo Sabres, 5th best in the NHL. 41 conversions on 141 opportunities. That's good for 27.7% on the power play. The Nashville Predators power plays converted 23 times on 138 opportunities. That is 28th overall in the NHL, or 16.7% conversion. Out of the penalty kill, the Preds are ahead of Buffalo in this metric, 14th best in the league. They've given up 30 power play goals against, and they have a kill rate of 79.2%, while the Buffalo Sabres are 28th overall in penalty kill, giving up 35 power play goals against, and have a penalty kill rate of 72.9%. 1%. Injuries for the Nashville Predators. Cole Smith returns to the lineup. That means Mark Borowiecki is the only player listed on the injury report for the Nashville Predators. He is on injured reserve. There is no timetable for his return. Every team in the NHL has some high-skilled individuals. That's why we always go over the top 5 scores and the individual stats for each and every team. We will start with the home team, Nashville Predators, in this one. Philip Forsberg, 18 goals and 20 assists for 38 points on the season, leads the Preds in scoring. The 18 goals leads the Preds in total goals. The captain, Roman Josi, leads the team in assists with 23. He also adds 10 goals to that for 33 points. Matt Duchene has 11 goals and 21 assists for 32 points on the season. Mikhail Granlund, 4 goals and 21 assists for 25 points. Nino Niederreiter at 13 goals and 10 assists for 23 points. In net, UC Saros has a record of 15-11-5, a save percentage of .922, and a goals against average of 2.65, expecting him to get the start on home ice against the Buffalo Sabres. Let's go over to the other side of the ledger and talk about those Buffalo Sabres. And again, high skill and a lot of offense from this young Buffalo Sabres roster. Thompson leads the team with goals, 31, add 26 assists to that, 57 points overall. Dahlin, 13 goals and 34 assists, so 34 assists to lead the team, 47 points overall. Tuck has 20 goals and 25 assists for 45 points. Skinner at 17 and 24 for 41, and Cousins 13 and 26 for 39. Craig Anderson in net, 7-6-1 and .921 save percentage, 2.70 goals against average. So they may be fifth-place teams in each of their divisions respectively, but the Buffalo Sabres bring a considerable amount of punch into Bridgestone Arena, and the Nashville Predators haven't seen the Buffalo Sabres in quite some time. It's the first time this season. The Nashville Predators have got to be prepared. UC Saros, I expect he will see a heavy workload on home ice against this Buffalo Sabres team. That gets you all set up for the Nashville Predators' next game at home against the Buffalo Sabres. Up next, it's Cerebro Sports Full Game Recap.